Good day, everybody. It's Max, and welcome back to InfraSpace TERRA here in Canyon City for the big finale. You betcha. As we play along with the final pieces of the terraforming equipment. Yeah, it's intense, people. It's intense working with this file, I'll betcha. Before we get started, of course, I want to thank all recent subscribers as they are scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Of course, Mr. O and those in live chat, I appreciate that very much. And my Python, all that skill, I think is to the younger generation for me. My brain is kind of burnt out on all the programming and the stuff and the things, and I don't know, maybe something for the future. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. And of course, everybody that watches later on in whatever time zone you're in, I appreciate that very much, and it's just super awesome to do all the things. Now, I should push a button. There you go. Let's push the button. Yeah, well, let me tell you, it's another programming language. It's like, I mean, they're like a dime a dozen now, and I just don't know what to think about the whole mess. I think the world's gotten a little crazy with all the different types of languages and stuff and things, and it's getting very intense. It's gotten all very intense. Like it's gotten so intense, like half of them I don't even remember learning because I've had to like blank those parts of my mind out to actually learn others, and then they all kind of get jumbled together, and then it's just messy after that. It's just messy after that. Kind of like this crazy map. It just gets messy. Let me tell you. We almost lost the entire Canyon City about 24 hours ago. I was doing work on the final preparations for this episode, and a bunch of traffic had queued up and was blocking other traffic. Now, that traffic that it was blocking was home appliances, and of course, when a building doesn't get what it wants, it takes a dive. And sure enough, I'm working away in another part of the map, and then all of a sudden, I come over here, and I had like three cubes were basically half dead, and I was like, and then I looked down at the population numbers, and I was like 1,500 people away from like going into the negative, and I was like, oh, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. The amount of work it takes you have to do, yeah, it was all crazy. It was all crazy after that. So, I mean, it is what it is, but we're going to take a tour around. We're going to take a tour around Canyon City and the whole things. I mean, I've got a whole bunch of stuff done. And again, we're in a spot here where working on this map is quite painful to work with. So some of this stuff has taken, probably 30, 40 hours. It's kind of sad in a way. But we're going to talk about all that and more as I try to perk up. I don't know if it's the sun coming through the window that's causing me a bright aura to sound like 4% like less energetic or what. But I'm going to work on that here in the next few minutes, people. So last episode, we did get terraforming up and running on a limited scale. And that's because there's no way you'd ever cover all this map. There's just no way you would have to dedicate all the resources on the map to covering the map. You'd never actually build much of a city. And the problem is that you need the population, of course, to do all this. But we did get some of this done and all the things. Look at that. That's greenery, people. Some new tricks must be learned for traffic control. Well, I've learned. I do all the tricks. I've done all the tricks. It's just the way the game is. It's just the way the game is. But anyway, nevertheless, we of course did get lots of terraforming in yesterday. We're gonna get a little bit more in here today to get these guys a little bit of greenery down there. Of course, we added a couple of these big boys, which of course require the advanced filtering, and of course because they require advanced filtering. That means you need even more basic filtering because, of course, it's all crazy, right? So we're going to need at least one more of those down here to make this work. Where is the really cool round thing? There it is. Look at that. We're going to need at least a couple of these. Again, they require the advanced filtering mesh. And of course, we'll have to put them down here. So again, we're going to need a little more of that. And of course, then we have our basics of little rinky-dink things. These just require the basic filtering, but you got to have a bunch of them because the size of these things is not very big. And at the same time, we want to power up this. Now you'll notice here we got some powered in, but this is where we're going to have a look in here for, of course, the magnetic field generator. Let's have a look at what it takes to run that. So to run this sucker, you're looking at about, well, let's rounding of numbers and things. It's approximately 7 red science. Okay, that's to make 7 red science is a bit of work. All right, 7 red science a minute is a lot of work, right? Considering 1 red science takes 160 seconds to make. Okay, and so it means basically to have 24, 48. What's that? 20, 40, 60, 72 seconds. So, you're going to need like 2.5 red science every minute, right? The problem is these things take 160 seconds. Boom. So I had to double the capacity of red science. I had to double the capacity of all science because, of course, red science requires yellow science, and yellow science requires green science, and green science needs the blue science, and, you need all the science. So we made another whole set. So now, of course, we've got another 4 red science to go with all my sciences. So now we actually make 8 red science. Around 8 red, we make 8 red science every 160 seconds. Give me where's my calculator and the things here? If you have 160 divided by 8, that means we're making 1 red science every 20 seconds. We need 1 red science every 24 seconds. So we're barely keeping ahead of the thing, but we're keeping ahead of it now. And, of course, all of this took resources, people. It takes resources. Oh, the resources. And, of course, to have all them new filtering meshes, we needed more factories. That's right. More factories. And, of course, I did have to spend a good 15 plus hours fixing the city. And I'll explain what had happened. So, of course, what happened was we were kind of sharing a highway with the robot guys down here, right? We were sharing a highway with the robot and the home appliances and computers. And, of course, they were sending filters down into the city to keep it green. And at the same time, they were using them highways for, of course, for sending in computers and home appliances. Well, we had a cross-section of highway there, which I will take you down to shortly. And that cross-section of highway was getting jammed. And sure enough, what happened was it just couldn't deliver through the jam fast enough for either thing to work. And we're going to actually fix that as part of today's episode. So, as part of today's episode, we're actually going to fix the jam. We're going to bring these guys down there. So these are, after almost another 15 hours, are all ready to go, right? Look at that. Full and ready. You bet. And I mean, it takes a lot of material to make that work, right? So, it's very, like, when you bring one of these online, the amount of traffic jam and everything created by bringing in raw resources, you're looking at I'd say about 25 to 40 minutes per lane to unjam, right? Before you can bring the next one online. Now, I got pretty swift with it in the later sections, right? So, like, for example, when I bring one online with, like, for example, let's say I brought the first one online and I hooked in the iron. Well, then I wouldn't hook in the copper to that one. And then on the second one, I would hook in copper, but not iron. And then the third one, I would hook in the sulfur, but not the other two. And that way there was never a big crush of all traffic into all the lanes. So after a while, I kind of got pretty good at getting things up and running each lane in about 20 to 25 minutes. But that's still a lot of time. Like, you know, like there's 2, 3, you know, so this is, you're looking at about 4.5, 5 hours of work here just to get that up and running after you try and save a city, right? And at the same time, you know, you're trying to, you know, I had to build a bunch of red science, so this didn't just magically happen. Okay? You know, like all of this new stuff here had to be put in. So of course that was another, you know, you're looking at another 5 plus some hours. It just, you know, the speed of things is very, very, like, turtle-like. It's very turtle-like as I try to find nice ways to put it. So, we are going to have a fix. We're going to fix up some advanced filtering mesh, as I miscalculated. And gosh darn it, you need 2 of these factories to do 1 advanced filtering mesh. And right now I've only got them at a 1-to-1 ratio. So I've got to take some of these factories here and plug them in over here. Now luckily we shouldn't need any more than these 4 factories. I don't think. We might bring 1 more online just to kind of get it up and running. And that should handle things. We'll see how it goes. We're just going to see how it goes, people. Okay, so with that, I've got the game paused. I think we should fix the advanced filtering mesh. Is the first problem. That is the thing we'll do. All right. Guess what, guys? Yeah, none of you guys are going this way anymore. Nope. That's a thing that's not happening. So we're gonna take 1, 2, 3. There we go. We got it. Someone has been quite busy while using his holiday to revive the city. Well, yes, I have. You know, it was there was a lot of work. and then of course that is one of the things that, you know, we're gonna chit chat about and all this stuff, but. Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of work offline to get things working, right? You know, because like, again, there's only so many hours in a day, so sometimes I'd have to let the game run overnight to fill factories and stuff like that, right? Like it was just kind of, it's just, you know, it's slower, it's slower to deal with, you know. So anyway, I got to push forward ahead here, right? Or we'll never get anything done today. And we got to get this done today because it's the final episode day. All right, there we go. So we're going to change this lane here back into a 4-lane road. So as we can get ready to hook this in. I notice I've got this one ready to go, but I didn't even hook that one in anywhere. Is that a thing? I guess that's a thing. But I'm about to hook it in, so we're about to give these guys a whole lot of extra something. So we're gonna take this out of here. Okay, so that is 1. That is 2. And let's keep going. All right, so this is gonna be 3 as I fix this lane up. And then this will be 4. Okay. And then how many do I got left? All right. I'm gonna take at least 1 more of these, and I'm gonna actually bring on another factory. You know what? I'll take on 2. I'll bring 1 more of them other advanced filtering mesh factories on, so as we hopefully don't run short anywhere. Okay, and then the last 2 factories will go with the other guys on the other side. All right, so we're going to actually flip-flop this highway around, if that's a thing. We're going to flip-flop the highway around. This highway is not going this way anymore. Nope, that's not happening. But before I get excited with that, I'm going to finish these guys off here. Now, let's see. Let's do this, and get rid of the funny button there. Now, you got to get this down there, dude. Let's go. All right, 3, 4, 5. Yes, we're going to stop right around here somewhere for a second. This one's a little quirky because it's got this factory never really was very functional. So I am going to bring this factory here on its side instead. Thanks for that. Well, you know, I mean, we want to see the whole thing work, right? It is kind of the thing. We want to see it all work, and at the same time, to see it work requires us to have a few things about that, and then that way we can discuss about it. So I've got this highway running down there. All right, so there's the highway running there. So let's do this, do this, do that, and then I'm going to back this up just a wee bit. And now we're going to take this road. We're going to plug it right in here. And then I'm going to stop it right about there, and we'll put in a fifth thing. Number 5. Give me this. Give me this. Advanced jigger. Boom. Done. Okay. Now we gotta hook the road up and go around this guy. And I'm just gonna take this road out because we're never gonna use it for the rest of this series. So I'll be done there. And let's now get this guy, his road, to get around this and hook it into these other guys. Something like that. There we go. So these guys, these now are going to have 5. We'll have 5 factories making these things, and then we'll put it out here onto this road. I'm actually going to give them their own separate highway here shortly, but we'll talk about that soon enough. Well, I don't know if I mean, there are only 5 factories. I don't know if I need to or not, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so that's them 5 factories. So now we need to actually give these guys all these extra factories. Okay, so there's one. And then this guy's going to come out here. Okay, 3, 4. And all the things. Stop here for a second. Okay. Let's see. You got 1, 2, 3, 4. But now you got to give this guy 5. This guy is number 5. Yep. So how about you do that? Give this guy number 5. Sure. This is fine. We do got to do a little flip-flop in here. Flip-flopping. Oh, the terminology you come up with, Max. It's crazy. All right, there. A little flip-flopping. It's perfectly fine. There. Flopped. We flip-flopped. Flopping into flipping. Flipping into flopping. Okay. So, you got over here. Congratulations. Now what are you going to do? Well, I'm going to hook these guys up. All right. And why do I feel like I'm short one here? I guess that's because this guy was coming down here, and then I got to hook this guy in here, and that's going to be number 5. All right. Now, this is where we got these 5 here. We're going to now let these guys, we're going to take this bridge all the way down and build little highway ramps off them just to make this a little easier on me. So we'll go right to there, and then we'll do that. And then this guy can come off there and do that. Was that the right side? I think so. Gee, I hope so. Yeah, I think that's the right side. Yeah, we're fine. We're fine. Okay, that's you. And then same deal for you, dude. You're down. And then this is the one that's going to go like way super far. All right. There. That now allows us to get 5 of these factories on. These 5 here, they're basically redundant, useless factories. At the time, we didn't quite know the ratios of all the things, so I had built all these single meshes, and then the double meshes were on this side. I thought they were a 1-to-1 ratio, but they're not. They're a 2-to-1 ratio. So these 5 here, never going to happen, right? So with that, these 2 now need to come over and join this party over here for a new highway. So that is a thing we're going to do. So this highway up here is no longer in use. Well, no longer in use in terms of we're using it for the single mesh highway. Come on, game. Catch up with me. Catch up with me. Let's see. What am I going to do for a new series in this? Well, I think... so I learned a lot on this map, right? When they went and increased the maps to 4 times size maps... you know, I mean, first of all, I have no disappointment in Canyon City whatsoever. It was a different concept, right? Because everybody was going to build big things on the top. Brian, what's up? It's all Maniac, you betcha. Are you not entertained? So of course, when I did Canyon City and all that, I have no disappointments in that whatsoever. I'm super happy about doing that and how that turned out. The biggest trick to it all, of course, was when they increased the map size to 4 times size. I don't think they took into account increasing all the factories for 4 times size, right? The driving distance, the lag times. I don't think all of that was incorporated. So when I built the map the way I did it, of course, I built it thinking that it would cover that distance, but it actually didn't. And I think that's where we have a lot of the jam ups and stuff like that. Now, yes, the road lag, the road placement lag issue is a totally separate issue and is still a very big issue for me. But I mean, at least one thing I can fix, and actually it fixes the second thing, is if I was to work on a new map, I think what I would do is I would go back to my cube roots, right? And I would actually do a mega cube city, and in doing so, I would actually break the cube cities down into like 4 separate, maybe even 8, maybe like 8 separate mini cities. So of course, when I did the cube series of 100K plus on the 1-time size maps, that was a thing. So I got to delete this road here for a second because we're deleting roads. But I would now do it. As an 8K size map, right? Like I would take this map, I would divide it into 8 and then build 8 mini cities, mini cube cities on it. And each of those mini 8 cities would probably have, I don't know, 16 cubes each. I would think a 4x4 grid of 4 cubes by 4 cubes. So I don't know how many cubes that is at the end of the day. So that'd be 16 times 8. Calculator, where are you? I must admit, I'm getting a little lazy with my calculations lately. 16 times 8. I used to be able to pull that stuff off in my head all the time. 128 cubes. So that would be 128 cubes if you were to try and do the whole map. And the other issue, of course, is that you would never, ever be able to pull off, like you could not pull off terraforming the whole map in that case, right? But I think what I would do is I would do some sort of like thing in the center of the map where you would have like this big greenery space in the center of the map and all the cubes could like go around it and stuff. I think that's what I'm thinking for the next series. Now I'm going to give them a little time to kind of keep updating the game. Hopefully work on some of the issues like the road issue, right? Because the road issue is an issue. It's such a bad issue. It's got to be fixed. But I think with all that, it might be okay, right? Like if I went back to the cube roots and I designed my cube cities to fit this map in a certain context, it might not be too bad. Now, obviously, all other rules apply, right? So, for example, concrete and steel are always remain separate, right? You never do concrete and... Brian, what's up? I have a voice now. You do have a voice now. Congratulations. And I hope it's all good in the neighborhoods. I've been watching a bit now. Maybe a month, and I need to get back into the game. I've been preoccupied with Timborne Satisfactory. Need more definitive endgame. Yeah, so, well, I mean, that's the thing, right? Don't get me wrong, the spaceship's awesome. And, I don't know, maybe the terraforming and a few other things is all groovy. But I mean, I can understand, right? Satisfactory. Oh man, I got so many hours in that game. It's very sad. It's very, very sad. So I can understand that. Yeah, it's just it needs more polish. It needs more road polish, right? Don't get me wrong. I'm really when they did the big update with the graphics and CPU reduction and stuff. That's all great, and I can actually understand. I do want to point out something. Sometimes you have to fix one thing before you can fix the second thing, because even though everybody's complaining about the second thing, if you don't fix the first thing first, it won't improve the second thing, right? So, I mean, all the updates that they've done so far, I am perfectly happy with. It's just, I think now they really got to put an effort into fixing the major road problem and the delivery problem. That's what we're working, right? Well, it's like that. It's like, what are we building towards? Well, we're going to finish this off today. So we got terraforming up and running on the last stream, and we just didn't have enough. We just didn't have enough to cover the entire Canyon City. So basically, we also discovered, while I'm down here, I'm going to discuss the one of the major issues. So this was a major issue where the traffic was all jammed up. We lost home appliances, and it almost crashed the city. But we got it back. As you can see here, I had to do a temporary thing. It's a thing. It's a very ugly looking thing, but it's a thing. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a futuristic wall city or something like that, right? But I mean, it's here, right? What are the gondolas? All the gondolas are working really good. I mean, the city itself worked really good, and is working really well. And basically, we just didn't have enough. Again, first time playing with terraforming, right? So I didn't know what all the ratios were. Didn't have all the numbers and figures without looking it up, of course. I mean, I'm sure, somebody out there was doing a wiki or something, right? But I tried to find that out for myself. And so basically, I've had to double production on terraforming, and we're going to put that in today to wrap up the series. And then that's where I was talking about for my next series. What I'd like to do is go back to the way I did the cube series, where I set up cubes, definitive cubes, where on the surface we would do all the things. And I think that would be a much better plan, right? That way it's much more controlled. There's no way to terraform the whole surface. There's just not enough resources on the surface. There just doesn't seem to be enough resources. I mean, the amount of resources just to make these things is crazy. But anyway, we'll make it all work. We'll get it all to work. All right, so I've got this hooked into the road. That's good. We need that. What do you got going on here, Max? I think this is like an old road. I'll take that out before I lose my mind as to try and guess what that was. Now, okay, so we know what's going on there. Everything is good. All right, that's all good. Okay, so now we're going to come down here. We're going to fix this part of the road. So in the last episode, in the last live stream, of course, basically we had hooked all the environment controls into the main road network for city distribution, and that was probably a mistake. that was a mistake because, like I said, I almost lost the entire map because, of course, once home appliances became jammed, it was a mess. It got messy really, really fast, and it took every effort to save it. Let me tell you, there was lots of times I was asking what are we building towards as far as purpose of being in the game. Well, really, in this game, the purpose is basically to terraform the planet and repair the spaceship at the moment, right? Yeah, and I mean, a lot. I mean, yes, that's kind of. I mean, that's where the game is. So we'll go here, spaceship, right? So I mean, you got kind of two goals, right? One, now that we have terraforming, of course, goal one, terraform, make the planet pretty, pretty. Two, and fix the ship, right? So of course, when you arrive here, the ship's all busted, right? It's all broken, all the things, and of course, you go through, you fix the entire ship, right? You send up rockets to fix the ship, to make these cargo pods and all the things, and that's its goal now. But I mean, once the ship is done, and once you've kind of played around with terraforming, there really is. I mean, the only other goal is just to see how big you can make it, right? It's like, it's just like how big of a city can you go, right? So basically, if you had end goals, would be the terraforming / spaceship repair. But really, you don't need. I mean, once you've got about 25,000 people in your city, you can do all that, right? But if you want to fill this map, right? If you want to make a 100K, 200K, or even a 300K map, that's just a self-imposed goal, right? That's the same as it was in the Cube series. Getting 100K, once the spaceship was repaired at like 22,000 people, it was like, okay. But when we covered that map with all the people, it was cool, and that was the goal of that series, right? The big issue, though, is the game is just not optimized for large-scale building, and the amount of lag we deal with here. Now, it seems relatively smooth here, but I'm not running the game at the moment. Everything is paused, right? So if I were to run this game and try and do all this building, we would have some serious problems, right? So it needs some work, right? It needs some serious optimization to happen, and until that happens, I don't think it's going to be possible. And I'm just going to fix this bridge because it's really ugly. This bridge is ugly. I can't handle it. And until that happens, I don't think you can do much more in terms of goals with the game than that, right? Yes, I'm sure you could do some goals with it, like self-imposed goals, but you can only go so far, right? You can only go so far, and then that's about it, I guess. What are you doing with this highway, Max? You probably should have pulled that out one by one. All right, well, let's do that way. Do that. Do this. Okay, now, so we're gonna run some roadway here. We're gonna run a separate road network just for this environment control stuff, right? It's all the thing. Mr. Johnson, how are you today? I hope it's all good in the neighborhoods. Have you got the magnetic shield running consistently? I'm about to. I have the supplies ready for it. I'm just doing this other part of the build first. So we do have all the science and the battery coils ready to go. So I doubled science production. As you can see now, we produce 8 red science. We actually produce one red science every 20 seconds with the 8 red science that we have. I've also increased the coil production back here, so as we should have enough coils coming out to be able to do the things. Fingers crossed. No promises. Yeah, you came just the right time, right? So basically, yeah, I'm going to... I'll probably do. Obviously, I'll be doing another series. In fact, I'm starting to approach 1,000 hours in this game. It's kind of scary. It's a little scary. And you got a bit of a mess here, Max. What are you gonna do about that? We're gonna do this, I think. Right about somewhere like that. Sure. And then you're gonna come up here. And then you're going to come up 1, 2. Really? Do you want to fix this? Okay. It's a little bit of work here, people. It's a little bit of work. Okay, 1, 2. And then we're going to come across here. And then you can come back down. All right, there we go. So as I put in this new road network for handling all this new these new toys that I'm about to put in here shortly, because I'm about to put in new toys. Please get across there. There we go. That's what I want. So this is just a new highway instead of trying to... Oh, thanks, autosave. I appreciate that. So this new highway is going to handle all of our environment needs, right? So as we don't get the traffic issues that almost crashed the city on me. Because that was... Don't get me wrong. Had the city crashed, it would have been... I mean, you know, it's not the first time I've crashed a city. I just want to point it out. But it would have bummed me out. I will say it would have bummed me out a lot. And the reason, of course, is that, you know, I've got a lot of work. You know, you put, like, it takes X amount of hours to put these cities together. And had it crashed, I think, you know, I don't know if I would have had the effort to do it again, right? I accept your spaghetti. Well, that's good, because I accept it too. You know, I wasn't, you know, as much as it looks a little confusing, it's perfectly fine. I mean, it has mystery to the madness, right? I mean, look at this. You almost think that I knew that intersection was right there. Uh-oh. No, you're not getting any farther than that one, though. I was all good until I got to here. Okay, listen, can you fix this up? Sure. Listen, you're breaking things here. Don't be careful. Be careful. All right, there you go. There you go. You're fine. You're fine. I want my cool straight highway to keep going on down here. Yeah, but you're not going to be able to do that, dude. You got a whole bunch of issues here. All right. Just do that then. Okay, there we go. Sometimes you do have to do spaghetti. Spaghetti roads. Spaghetti roads, take me home to the place where I can roam. You betcha. Okay. Yeah, you got 2 more to do, dude. You got 2 more to do. Look at that. You even got a road here that you can play with if you want. Nah, I think we'll just run. I'm just gonna leave that road alone. And then we'll come all the way up here. Now, obviously, we don't have the terraforming network up here yet. Okay, there we go. And boop, there you go. Done. Now I got to go back and I got to hook all these roads together, right? If you drive a city too fast, you can lose control and crash on the curve. Well, that's the problem. And InfraSpace is not forgiving at all. This game does not forgive you. There is no forgiveness. That is the one thing about this game is it's like, okay, I see you messed up. Man, are you ever going to pay for that? And you do pay. You pay so hard. You pay very hard. So unlike other cities where, I mean, you know, kind of like in the city skylines and stuff, yes, you can crash a city skyline city too, right? It's InfraSpace is very much like that, where just one wrong move, you know, you can take an entire city of 30,000, and poof, gone, and it's like no more. and then, you know, you feel a little bit of sadness inside as you watch all your dreams and ambitions die. It's kind of scary, actually. But luckily, it's not my first rodeo on crashing cities. And so when it did try to crash on me there last night, well, it was yesterday. I guess it was yesterday, right after yesterday's stream. Well, I had worked on it, actually. I had worked on the city before the stream yesterday because, again, this game takes a lot of time to deal with stuff. So I had worked on it before the stream yesterday, and then when I went into it after the stream yesterday to keep working on it, that's when I noticed the city was crashing and that home appliances had crashed, and I was like, okay, what do you do now, Max? And I'm like, well, I don't know what we're going to do, but you better figure it out. Let me tell you, or it's going to get ugly. And I was like, okay, well, ugly's not good. And then that's when I managed to pull it off and fix it, but nevertheless, you know, the things you have to do, right? The things you have to do. It was an intense time. It was an intense time because if, like I said, if you'd lost 30,000 people, no matter what I would do, there's no way you could get that back for today's stream, right? Like, you know, I lost 3,000 people in that crash, and just the 3,000 people alone took, oh, I don't know, it was like, you know, it was like 5-6 hours, right? Because I think that was like, I started around just before 8 last night, and I think it was like 1:30 in the morning when I went to bed, because it was all stabilized, and I was like, okay, well, we're good now, right? And I'm like, okay, but that's just a 3,500 people crash. Like, if you'd lost 3,000 or 30,000, the series was done. The series was done. There was no saving it. No saving it after that. Okay, so this should now be ready to go. I am not going to turn on the main transmission tower thingy. I do want to run this, make sure that everything isn't going to explode. So we're going to push the button here. Boom. You guys, oh, listen. Let's get these two over here as well. Hey guys, listen, I need you now to take your new road. I need you to come this way. New road, guys. New road, going this way. There we go. In fact, I gotta come through, speaking of spaghetti. Yup. Is that where I wanted that? Yes. Okay, and then I think I have to come, no, I can stay there. We're good, yep. Now you do have to come across, dude. Do I? Not yet. There we go. Come down here a little more, and done. Excellent. So are you guys like pumping out your cars now? Or like you're doing a thing, right? You're sending cars? Yeah, there you go. That's it. Send cars. Do things. And listen, don't you guys start cheating and start sending all your circuit boards all over the place, or I'll be really upset about that. I really don't want to get into using districts right now. We're too close to the end. Okay, so now a lot of these guys shouldn't send anything because we should have more than enough, right? Please say we have more than enough. Jeez. Meanwhile, we did put a bunch of extra on here, so these guys should be getting a lot of extra cars all of a sudden, right? Yeah, that's what's going on there. I expect these guys are going to start losing their mind when, I mean, don't get me wrong, it is like we're going to crank this up here, and once all the things start cleaning out and you start seeing all the trucks on the highways, it is very impressive to watch. I mean, it is awesome to watch, right? You know, you come into some of these highways and it's like, yes, I mean, we're going to do that, right? You got to do the whole, you know, routine of staring at all the highways while all the buildings are losing their minds, right? That's a thing. That's a thing we're going to do here shortly. But we got to get it all up and running here first. What are you looking for? Why are you looking for purple goo? Why are you looking for purple goo, dude? Because you want purple goo. Okay, well, you're getting your purple goo. Is that what that highway is for? Is that what this highway is for? Purple goo highway? Where's purple? Who gives purple goo? Well, somebody does. Oh, you do. That's what that extra road's for. Okay, listen, purple goo road. Yeah, see this road right here? This is the purple route. This is the road for purple goo. I haven't put it down yet, is the problem. Yes, where is it? 1, 2, 3, right? Yeah, see, you haven't put the purple goo road in here yet. You gotta hook this in here, dude, or it's not gonna work. So I need you to do this, do that, and plug in that. There you go. Purple goo for this guy, please. Thank you. Yes. Yep, for this guy, he gets purple goo. Everybody starts shipping it. I'd appreciate it. All right, so that'll get that guy fixed up. He'll be happy about that. He's not getting any filters at the moment either. Why is that? Okay, so he has the ability to drive it up here. Yes. And how many filters does he have? He has 40. So what is his problem? His problem is that he's got one-way roads. He can't do anything about that. All right. Well, I appreciate him letting me know that I was a goof, and this will fix his problem. Guess what? He's going to start releasing cars all over the place here in about 14 seconds. Right? Yeah, that's it. Start doing the shuffling thing. Yeah, there you go. There goes the trucks. All right, that means you got to fix all these, Max. Okay. There we go. You got to fix all of these. So, of course, I'm having to double back these now, right? There we go. We're going to get you all fixed up here. Some of the things you miss. Okay, there we go. And I don't know if the game's just behaving itself or what, but now I'm not really I'm not placing any roads. I'm replacing roads, and they're all dead-end roads, so I guess it's not that stressful. I really tried to make the episode today so as I didn't have to place hardly any connection roads within a block, right? Because that's where we run into the 50-second delay problems, right? It gets crazy after that. Okay, so we have lots of advanced filters being made. I mean, look at these buildings. They're pretty intense. They're pretty intense with all the flashy mirrors on them. I'll give you that. You know, they do a lot of flashy mirror things. They get pretty crazy. So now that we've got that, now I'm not too worried about like if the trucks make it, right? If the trucks make it or if they don't make it, well, it just means that we'll have a little less green grass if they don't make it. But we do want them to make it because we want to put in more green grass, right? In fact, that's the next challenge. Is we want to put in dust particle filters, and we want to put these in somewhere's nice. So where are we going to stick this one in? Somewhere's around here would be nice. So let's move. We'll move this up here somewhere, and then stick this one in right about here. Is that going to cover? What's that going to cover? That'll cover a lot of the city, but not well, I mean, you know, you're going to have to be somewhat selective here, Max. You can't have all the city all the time, dude. It's just the way it is. All right, so let's go for in here. How's that? That's pretty close. We'll take that one. I think we go for something around here. So that's what, 2? Okay. Take those 2 out, and I can afford to take them basic farms out, right? We got so many basic farms in each of these cubes, they'll never get hurt. So let me see how many do we have down so far. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'll put this last one down, and then I gotta go count my factories because I don't think I have enough factories to run them all. It's just the way it is, guys. It's just the way it is. Okay, so we'll put no. Not that. Give me the thing. Give me this, and give me this. Right about there. Excellent. So that's 12. The last cubes were brand new. I'm afraid they may have to do without. So that is 12. So how many factories do I have? I think I only have 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I only have 10 factories for 12 of them, for 12 of those. Yeek. Well, I mean, you know what? We'll just see what happens with them, I guess. It is what it is. Now we got these 2 things here. You only need 1 more of these, Max, because these things are massive. Yep. I mean, look at the size of this thing. It covers like like 1/6 of the map. It is big. It is definitely. Look at that. It's definitely gonna cover like the rest of the city, like no problem. It's like, yeah, I got you, bro. I got you. It's like, yeah, I got you, bro. Okay. Well, I'm glad you got me. Because let me tell you, you got a lot. You cover a lot of material, which makes me happy. Because let me tell you, I can't afford to be running like more than 2 of you guys. All right, so that's gonna take care of that guy. So that will take care of him. He needs power, dude. Yikes. Really? Okay, well, we get him a little power here, I guess. Excuse me, guys. Can I borrow a power pole here? Or a couple? How far out do I gotta go with this thing? He's right about there. Somewhere's right about here. Okay, yeah, works for me. I'm just trying to be somewhat tidy and lining these up, right, so as it doesn't look total goofiness. There you go. Done, dude. You got power now. You're the man. You're the man all of a sudden. Yeah, you know it. Okay. And now that takes care of him. And these are the ground acidity regulators. So, you gotta get this you gotta get this down here somehow. This one here actually works out really good. Wow, that's actually a really nice placement. So, because it's at the very bottom of this, oh, thanks, autosave. I appreciate that. Once again, autosave, your timing is impeccable. Wow. The nice part about this is that I can just put a nice little side shunter road right off of this thing, right? I don't have to do, like, anything complicated here. Boom. All right, and if we do one more. Really? Right about here, I guess? Is that going to be okay? Yes. All right. Did I actually make that as part of that road? Yes, I did. All right. You know what? Then he can actually just get that through the city itself. Okay. That should do everything. So I'm going to let these guys fill up for a minute while we actually tour around and do the things. So as always, you should always do, there should be several things you do separately, right? And this is, of course, not to say as I didn't, throw these lessons out or anything when I did this map. But there is a few things I would have done differently now, and I'm definitely going to, on the next series, definitely condense the way I do certain things. So obviously, your building material should always be separate from your entire city. It should not be connected to your city in any way. If you are looking to drown yourself in heavy traffic, just go ahead and put your concrete with your city, and then you just might as well turn the game off because you'll hit yourself. So obviously we have building concrete and building steel, which of course we use down here in the lower left hand corner. It is totally separate from anything else. It does not have any access to the city. It cannot deliver to the city. It cannot do anything with the city components. Building material should always be separate from your city because it'll just create too much traffic chaos, right? Next, your science, same deal, right? Science should never be connected to your city, right? Science, in any way, shape, or form, should be its own thing. It should be self-contained. It should never have any roads going through your city or wherever the population is. Again, too much traffic, right? It would create too much. It creates too much traffic chaos to do that, right? Of course, then I have the city itself, which of course I do things a certain way. I divide my city requirement necessities into 3 areas: home appliances, computers, robots, and VR edutainment way down there on the end is 3 separate components. Now, I would say and in fact, you'll notice these factories over here, by the way, are not using my main line. They are getting their own different stuff. Socks, what's up? I hope it's all good in the neighborhood, you betcha. So I'm now, one thing I have discovered and has made this so much easier is I will now be treating terraforming as its own separate thing. So just like with science, just like with building materials, I will now be treating, I'm now going to be treating my future playthroughs, I will be treating terraforming as its own separate entity. In other words, it will get its own material. It will not be part of the main highway for the city. So again, the biggest lesson one of the bigger lessons in this series was I did try, and I thought, and this was not a mistake, it's just, it was not known, right? I thought they had increased the numbers to go with the 4 times size map, but because they didn't, this mega highway, right, of things, just became quite painful, right? It became painful to try and put everything on this mega highway because the stuff wouldn't deliver fast enough, right? It's not that we didn't have the capacity, and it's not that the highways weren't busy. It's just it just can't, it's just not calculating the distance properly as to the timing as to what it needs to get there, right? And that's too bad. That is kind of a bummer because there's obviously enough road capacity that we could do that, but we can't do that. So from now on, if in my tutorials, I give the 4 points of what you should be building separately, like your steel and concrete, your city, your science, and of course your building material or the other thing. And now I'm going to include this as the 5th element to build separately. Make sure you build your terraforming material totally off, separate in its own thing, and then use one-way roads to then connect it to where you need it to, right? Yes, we have stuff in the city, but like all the raw resources and materials will never get there, right? They'll just never get there because we either use districts or one-way roads to accomplish the task of just not delivering that far, right? So that is a thing for sure. The distance problem. Well, I mean, it is a problem. That's for sure. I do hope that, when I do the next series, they've at least addressed it somewhat, either by greatly increasing capacity storage in the buildings themselves, or by doing some other mathematical calculation in the background to say, hey, guess what? If you guys all have 40 things, and there's a building down here that's using all that purple goo, keep sending the goo. Right? Don't wait for the building to be almost out to say, oh, well, we should send 10 trucks. No, send all your trucks. Send all the trucks, right? That's a big problem. It's a really big problem with all this long-distance delivery all the time, is by the time the biggest problem is gas, right? We've managed in a couple of streams, both in the TERRA series and in the Giga series, demonstrating about how the gas, we got 500 gas sitting down there. It just wasn't delivering it because it wouldn't ask for it fast enough, right? So they definitely need to increase the storage capacity of the buildings to force the asking of more and more stuff all the time, I think is the thing. Now, let's talk about storage system, right? Yeah, like a connected storage system, like how we have for building material, would be the best, right? It would take away a lot of the traffic distance issue, and at the same time, it would take away the individual storage issue. You wouldn't have to increase the storage of all the buildings if you had a centralized storage method. So let's say, for example, right, I put some storage down here, right? Let's say, we'll just use the building here as an example. This isn't going to work because it's on a highway. So let's say this was like a standard storage building, right? Because this is just for construction material. That's the thing. It's only construction storage, right? Everybody thinks when they get the game, it's like, oh, we have storage. No, you don't. This is only for construction material. But we're going to use this building anyway as an example. So it would be nice if you could put a building like this and then just hook all these into this building, and then where you need those materials, right? Because, I mean, it magically does this now, so we're not doing anything. You got to take a little believability. It's a game, right? And then let's say you put this other building here in the city, in your science, right? And then the science could draw from that building. You wouldn't need worried about so much of the traffic issues all the time, right? As it was trying to empty out the buildings and stuff, and you could do more control. That is definitely something they need. They need a centralized storage area, and I mean that would solve problems. It would definitely solve the storage problem. The building capacity call problem would definitely be solved. All that stuff. How are we doing? Oh, wow, look at all the green spreading out. Yes, guys, do that. Do all the green stuff. Do all the green stuff, guys. Yes, grow grass, grow trees everywhere. Hey, somebody's growing. I mean, these are all very green in here now. Yes, all the greenage, people. All the greenage. Nice. Yeah, then you could easily cube everything, right? So then basically, in fact, I think my next cube design is going to be all self-contained. It would be really great if I could do a self-contained cube with all the things in the cube. So right now, my cubes do a mixed bag, right? So a cube right now does its own oxygen, does its own water, does its own simple foods, and it does its own fancy food, right? So you'll notice here, every city cube's got its own fancy food hookup, right? Now, these ones were messier because in the canyon you could never do anything pretty. In the canyon you had to go with the shape and the stuff. But I mean, you know, for the most part, basically, like especially in the cube series, you know, every single cube had all these ingredients. Then outside of the cube, I always asked for home appliances, robots, and VR education separately. Now, I guess there's really no way. I thought about that, but I guess there's no way to do that. Like, for example, these 3 factories here run 2 cubes, right? So it would be, I mean, to make a cube with all this extra material in it, just to try and get some extra VR, that's not real practical, I guess. So I guess I'm happy with the way I got my cubes designed. The design was never really an issue. Why isn't there more greenage here? What's going on with the green? What's going on with my greenage here? There should be more. Oh, did I not? Oh, I didn't do drones. I didn't do these yet. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we got to do these. I totally forgot about these things. Yeah, I forgot the drone parts. Sorry guys, that's my bad. My bad. We're gonna fix that up right now. Right now. All right, we'll fix up the drones here in a sec. But yeah, I mean, it's just. You know, I think you know, we get the next series I do would be more self-contained, cubed. You definitely got to separate your terraforming off your factory stuff. It all makes one sense, right? Yeah. Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, that would be awesome, right? Yeah. Like for example. Well, I mean, just here, take the robots here, right? Yeah, like say we had a centralized storage like type system. You could, yes, you'd still need roads to deliver the raw material and stuff like that. And yes, I mean, you could go all crazy with buildings in and out, but I'm sure there's a way they could like somewhat limit to how that works versus like whatever. You know, but at the same time, it would be really nice, like if you had building here for robots and then, you know, boop, put a building down there for city and then just deliver, right? Or maybe, you know, again, you could talk about like how it is, like what it is allowed to hold, right? Maybe it's allowed to hold raw resources, but not finished products. Okay, I'm good for compromise, right? You know, so like for example, like maybe it's not allowed to hold tier 3 product, like the end product, like it's not allowed to hold home robots, but it's allowed to hold tier 1, which would be the raw material, and tier 2, which would be like things like electronics and motors, right? But it's not allowed to hold tier 3, so you can't just use it as a free teleporter to send your home robots right into your city, right? You have to somehow get the finished product in there, right? You know, just stuff like that, right? But I mean, they do need a way to clean up some of this issue of all this transportation of stuff, right? Now, yes, that is part of the challenge. And I mean, that's a thing. You know, I mean, the game is whole based on transportation. I mean, that's kind of its shtick. So, you know, you don't want to remove all the transportation elements out. But if you're not going to remove the transportation elements, you've got to fix the storage problem, right? Buildings are just not calling enough material in fast enough, and by the time the material gets here, the building's already out, and then it's got to call even more in. It's a never-ending cycle. It's not the best way to do things. Mods, definitely. I think maybe, but this will go back to what I say in what I've said in other streams. If a game needs mods to be a good game, then it's not a good game, right? So mods should take the game in a new direction or whatever. But if you need mods to improve your game, then that means that you got fundamental problems with your game, right? And you should be fixing those. So like now that Satisfactory, for example, has blueprints, right? Yes, it's not as good as the mod. Yes, you're limited in what it can do versus like what the mod can do, but at least it's in the base game now. And that means if I want to, like, as a factory builder, if I want to use, use blueprints without using mods, I can do that, right? And that's what makes your game good, right? And they definitely need blueprints in this game. They definitely need blueprints so badly. So badly. I mean, it's already painful enough building, like, everything here is built by hand, by scratch, one at a time. And it's very painful, right? Like, the road problem is a bad enough problem, but when you have to build everything by hand, that makes it even more problem, right? They need blueprints and, to make things kind of come along here. Dude, you got to stick in some drones. Because we need the drones, dude. You gotta have drones. Like, you need drones. I think I need 5. I think it's 5. 5 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I just put one in for good luck. Is what I do. I just put one in for good luck. Yep. Do that. Yep, I know, game. I just blew up your mind. The game really hates it when you do that. But anyway, it's going to have to suck it up, Buttercup, because that's the thing. All right, so we're going to take this road here, connect that in here, connect that in here. Okay, so you can get some sulfur, and then you'll be starting some drones up. That should be really good. I got to go run around for some sulfur, I guess. That's a thing that's going to have to happen shortly. Where do you want to put this drone? Because this is a really crowded area, and crowded areas and you don't go well together. So, okay. Yeah. Can you get it in there? Okay, you can. If you're very careful here, you might be able to pull this off. You're gonna rotate this the right way? Sure. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, tree, but to get more trees, I need to get you out of the way. All right, get this road in here, like that, and we'll get you plugged in here like so. Boy, that's some really questionable road digging into that mountain, isn't it? Okay, there we go. All right, that will get that up and running. How we doing here? As always, you got to be a little careful with the whole thing. How we doing? We can probably get one more in here pretty safely. Okay, so let's go for here. The mod that does the splitters and will do one in infinity is amazing, right? And I mean, that's the thing. That's now that certain things are in the game, right? So let's say I play the game without mods, right? And I love the game, I got blueprinting and stuff, and then I'm thinking, wow, wouldn't it be great if I could do like splitters to infinity instead of just the 35 limit? And then I load mods, and then it's like, yes, I do that, right? So then that takes a great game to make it even a greater game, right? So now you've just taken your game to the next level, but the game was already great and didn't depend on those mods to make it great. That's the thing. Your mod should never make a game good. The game should be good on its own merit. And don't get me wrong, InfraSpace is very good on its own merit, right? I mean, like if you weren't building the size and complexity that, like me and a few other YouTubers do, you'd probably have a great time with InfraSpace in just the way it is. That being said, when you start getting around 25,000 people, you're going to pay a price. There's a price to be paid. And that's unfortunate, but that's welcome to reality. That's just the way it is. This guy here is for my extra sulfur, right? I'm pretty sure that's what this guy's job was. Please tell me this is an extra sulfur road and that's what that was doing. Because if that's the case, that's awesome. Because that's exactly what he's supposed to do. The only problem is I don't know if we have enough sulfur left on this side of the map for all these requests. Hey guys, listen, what are you doing? Yeah, you wouldn't mind like sending out all the trucks? Like, look at all the sulfur trucks leaving here. They're all like, we gotta do things. We gotta do so many things. So many things. And I'm like, yes, go do things. Go do all the things, guys. I need you to go deliver all the things. But I was pretty sure, yeah, go deliver all the things, guys. I realized, see, we've got this running at the fastest speed, and it's barely, like, running at normal speed now. So, I mean, that's where we are. But, okay, we got drones, we got trees happening, all the things. Nice. I mean, we got all kinds of trees. Right? We got trees growing everywhere. Everywhere, people. And as soon as we can get some drone action on those, we'll be good to go. We'll be good to go. You bet. Now, so this once we got, so we'll give that a couple minutes. So yeah, some storage. They definitely got to fix the road lag problem, right? So like every time you got to put in a road, and like once you've got a file of this size, like every time you put in a road and the game stutters for 50 seconds, wondering if it just blew up half the world, that's got to be addressed. You know, the storage capacity, either / inventory or whatever, however they want to fix it. Either way, I'm perfectly fine with that, right? It doesn't matter to me how they figure out how they want to fix it, as long as it's fixed somehow, right? Is the question. Now, obviously, I don't have enough. We just don't have enough plain mesh filters that I can run mesh filters up here to make this all super green, like this section here. But I think we'll get it. I mean, down in the valley's looking awesome. Canyon City is happening. I mean, it's green down here, people. It's very green. It's very green. Hopefully, these guys will start getting their sulfur shortly. Right, guys? That's what you're holding, right? 28 sulfur. Good job. Where are you going with it? Besides the building. Yeah, like, where are you guys going with your sulfur? Well, yeah, that's right. Deliver that sulfur here, guys. So is the drone. Yeah, and then the little drone can take off. And I do wish this drone flew around more. I do. I thought he was going to fly all over the place. I was going to be so excited. But yeah, it's kind of like a little kid's carnival ride. He just kind of goes up and down. He's fine. But at least the effect he has is that he's giving us trees. And I guess that's the important part, right? That's the important part. Yeah, modular splitters is what it's called, right? Yeah, so I mean, you know, that's what they need, right? So yes, if a mod comes along, and I mean, I did the same thing in DSP before they had blueprinting. You know, I was using a blueprint mod in Dyson Sphere program, right? And don't get me wrong, again, another good game. But then they added blueprints. Well, now that takes a good game to a really good game, because now it's like, okay, if I don't use mods at all, I can accomplish almost everything I was doing with mods. And then, of course, yes, you can still use mods. In fact, I don't even think the mod makers for blueprints even exist anymore in Dyson Sphere program, because their blueprinting system is pretty darn good, right? So, they just... The mod makers are like, let's move on to something else. And that's what they did, right? Which is great. That's what you want. How you guys doing down here, by the way? Well, I mean, your storage is full, according to this. I mean, I could try to sneak in. I mean, that guy's at 36. I mean, he's at 40. I could try and sneak in some more down the backside. Now, see, this guy's at 18. That worries me. He's at 40. He's at 40. I mean, these guys have all kinds of filters. I'm very tempted to just, I'm very tempted to slam in some more things. You know what? I'm going to, mister. Let's do this. Yeah, I want greenery up here, people. I want greenery, and I'm going to have it. That's this. That's this thing. And... I'm going to put it right about here. Now, for each one of these I got to put in a road. I got to put in a road to service it. And I got to put in power lines, right? because you got to have power lines. You got to have power for these things. Let's just put in 4 of them, and then we'll see how that goes. Because I'm a little concerned if I put in too many that, you know, these are all going to start crashing everywhere, and it's going to get to be a very sad place, and I don't want to be sad. Do this, do that. And yes, you've got power because of that guy. All right. Let's see. We'll drag you out here. Really? No, let's do this little road here first. No. Don't take out the tree when you don't need to, dude. Okay, there we go. And we're going to stick this in here. All the things. Done. Nice. Yeah, I know you need power, dude. You need power. I'm going to get you some power here shortly, all right? We'll get this guy right up to here. And something like that. And then one more, and then I'll get these guys a little power. They'll be happy. Go this way. And we'll get this guy a little bit of rinky-dink right there. There we go. Power, guys. Where are we going to get that? Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be that fancy here, Max. You can just kind of do this little maneuver and then go for a walk. Except that I must admit, that's a quirky thing that this game does all the time. Drives me crazy. It's like, yeah, just figure out where I want these power poles at, dude. It wasn't that hard. And then we'll just walk down here. And then we'll go this way. Okay. Yeah, I know. You can't figure out how to cross a road. Okay, there we go. Where is the power outlet? There it is. I see it. So we'll stop right about here. And we'll come in here and do that. Click this. All right. Now, power for you guys. Power to the people. All right. So, power for you. I think I just blew that up. That was my accident. I'll fix it in a second. Power for you guys. Is that going to be in range? Yep. You're good. Oh, and you're good. All right. Listen, I think you messed this one up, dude. You messed this up big time. You knew you stuck that power pole right on top of his head, right? It was not pretty. It was not pretty. Okay, so hopefully that will greenery this up here shortly. And I mean, it's good. I mean, it's very green all the way down there. I mean, that's not too bad. I mean, this is very green. It's super green here. I mean, Terraforming 101, people. Okay. So there's one thing left to turn on. I'll give it a minute. I'll give it a couple minutes just to make sure that these filters here are satisfied with our new road network. Definitely helped that we took that off of the home appliances roads. What's going on here? Whoa! Something. Yeah, we got a problem. We got a problem, Houston. What's wrong here? Why is this all jammed up? Where are you all going? Where are y'all going? Yeah, where are you going? Okay. So you're going, yeah, okay. Well, what's wrong? Why are you all jammed up? Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's fine. Why are you all jammed up? Why is everybody all jammed up here? Why do I think this is bad? Holy smokes. Are you serious? Off you go. Oh, man. Yep, scoot. Yeah, go on, scoot with you. Yeah, it's going to get messy here for a while. Did we catch it in time before we blew up the city? I don't know. I don't know. Well, I mean, we have skyscrapers still, so that's a good deal. The question is yeesh, it's going to be close. It's going to be pretty close, I'll give it that. Okay, well, I mean, you got to like a little excitement, people. You got to like a little excitement. Gosh darn it. Now, how did I mess up that road line? How did that road line get messed up? That seems so weird. All right, anyway, let's go see what other damage there was. Let's double check this to make sure that this line is not messed up. Okay, so it's not. This guy, of course, is, I don't know where he's trying to go, but yeah, like let these poor guys in there, would you? Okay. And then I got to go down to the other end to make sure that the line's moving still. Yup. So. Okay, that's traffic is underneath there. Zip. All the way up here. Holy smokes. Look at this factory. Look at this factory. This factory's losing its mind. No. Good. It's not affecting at least the raw resources yet. And that's important. All right. So, hey, you want a little excitement as the last episode, you know, for the finale episode? Well, you're going to get it. Traffic looks like when I left off my city, the bane of my existence. And this was just what, so here was the issue. The issue is that this line, not there, this one down here. So all this traffic is in the left lane. And do you think they're smart enough to use the right lane? Nope. So this line was missing from the left lane. And because they weren't smart enough to switch to the right lane so they could get through here, they just stopped. They just stopped like, oh, I guess we're not going to deliver anything anymore. And I'm like, no, don't be an idiot. Like, of course you're going to deliver stuff. Don't be a goof. You know, deliver your stuff, guys. Anyway, now I would put traffic lights in and stuff to maybe temporarily fix this, but it does make me nervous every time I do that. You know what we're going to do to fix this? We're going to do this. Okay, this is what we're going to do. Hey guys, what's up? Not much. Listen, we're going to blow up some road here. Do you mind? Well, I hope not, because that's what we're doing. Okay, first of all, you're going to move this by one. You gotta do a thing here. How you gonna do that? Okay. First of all, you gotta do some things here. So we gotta do this. Okay, blow that up, blow this up. Okay, so we'll take this and we're gonna go up and over this. Like that. Now that allows that guy to have free reign access underneath, but we do got to get some trucks off of this road. So we are going to do this, and then we're going to do this little maneuver and do this. There, so that should now fix up two things, right? These guys now don't have anything blocking them. These guys can rumble roar all they want. And the guys coming down this other highway can go over that, and that's groovy. Yeah, that's it, guys. Just empty that line right out. Let's go. All the things, yes. Drive your way into the city. There we go. That'll take care of that. This should start freeing up really fast. Let's hope that we've caught it in time. Okay, all the things. Looks healthier anyway. I will say it does look healthier. Yeah. So we're starting to pull away the traffic now. There we go. We got it. Ugh, lane mathematics. Yeah. Anyway, nevertheless, well, I mean, and that is kind of the semi-cool part about InfraSpace. It's got that, you know, city skylines vibe to it, with a little bit of, you know, it's got the factory logistics thing to it with the city skylines things to it, which is what makes it a really cool city. It's a combination of the two games. So it's got, you know, part Factorio, part city skylines, and it makes it really cool. So hopefully they'll be able to figure out the issue around, you know, the issues around like the road connectivity issue and a few other things. I'm really concerned because everybody's screaming for more stuff. If that makes any sense. They're screaming for stuff, guys. Do you guys have stuff? Yeah, why are you not, like, send your trucks? See, this comes back to the point that it's like we've got things, look, we've got several symbols of sulfur down there. They're all screaming for sulfur, right? We have sulfur sitting here, right? Send the sulfur. But the problem is that the game just is not calculating properly the requirement versus the distance versus the storage capacity. And that's the problem. The problem is that it doesn't matter that I have 10,000 sulfur sitting on the sidelines waiting to be delivered. It just can't figure it out. It just can't figure it out fast enough, right? And that's why I basically will be setting the game aside for a while. Not because I, don't love it, because, you don't, how many hours do I get in this crazy game? Yeah, I'm approaching 800 hours, right? I mean, it's getting silly, right? When you start approaching 800 hours in a game, it's a good game, right? I know this word combination, Brian. I know that. Everybody knows that word combination. Anybody that's watched City Skylines for 5 minutes in Biffa, that's a thing. That's a thing, right? It's just poor calculation. It's poor calculation, which is unfortunate because then you end up with situations like this. And the thing is this isn't good for this, right? These farms have to work. Like this isn't good. These farms quit, the city collapses, right? And if the city's going to collapse, well, then I'm just, episode ends. But we have one more thing to turn on, you betcha. And that, even though these guys are all losing their minds up here, are you guys making all my things green? Let's turn this sucker on here. And first of all, let's hook it up. What are you saying? You're going to turn it on, are you? Well, are you going to finish hooking it up first? Okay. So we got to hook up this road. Okay, you don't need this road anymore. Oof. Goodbye. Okay. So then this road comes up here. Now, first things first, you're going to need to take your red science from over here, as the game is very laggy, of course, because we're actually running the game. We're actually running the game. You know what? You probably should pause the game while we're doing this. All right, there you go. That way, if we do blow things up, Max, you're going to blow things up anyway, but, as we blow things up, it won't be so bad. Well, okay, you say that, but let's not kid ourselves. All right, so you're going to come down here. You're going to come down here and plug into that. There we go. Done. So that's going to put that red science on the board up here. Right? These guys have... nope, you can't get out that way. This right here is what I've got to change. I got to change this road right here. This road comes in, comes out. But you've got to change this road to be this. Like that. That now allows that red science to be able to get out of here and come down this road. But it also allows these guys, right? Are these guys allowed to get out here now? Yes. There's the road I'm looking for. And it comes down here. Yes, which allows them to come into this part of the city, which then allows them to drive down here, and then they'll be able to get out. Okay, so this should be it to turn on the final thing. Okay, you guys are ready to go. Yes, and all my red science is ready to go. So we should now be able to plug this sucker in and watch it do magical things. Do magical things. All right. And this thing takes 2,500 watts. It's a bit of an energy eater. How much energy do you got? You're at 2733. Okay, we have enough power to run it. So that's good. Because let me tell you, if we didn't, we were in trouble. Okay, well, do that. Do this and hit the play button. Boom. Off you go. You're at 30 now. Yes, do the spinny top thing for me. I always like it when it does the spinny top thing. I must admit, I do like that part. Okay, and that should now do the rest of the greening of the things. Now, I don't know if it leads like to pass like one whole thing before it takes 50 people to work this thing. Holy smokes, that's pretty intense. It's pretty intense. Reduced by one worker. Oh no, 49 workers instead of 50. I don't think that's going to help you, Max. Okay, so that should be that up and running. And if everybody got it right, we should now have trucks driving out of here at some point in time. Right, guys? I realize I'm running this at high. There's a red truck. Good job, guys. Yeah, give me the can I have the red truck? I know you're being really fussy, game. Listen, give me the red truck. There we go. One of the things I do wish, and another thing, and this is just a wish list type thing, but I do hope one day we have the ability to follow vehicles like you do in City Skylines, because I think that would be really cool, right? I mean, you know, we have highways here that really do lose some. I mean, look at. I mean, we got some traffic. We got traffic, people. You know, we got some road networks that really do some really cool things, and I must admit, it's really impressive just to watch it all. You know, just to watch all the craziness going by all the time. You know, one of my favorite places to watch actually is down here. This mess. I mean, this looks like chaos, but it's organized chaos, right? I mean, I know what's going on here. It's perfectly fine. I know what's going on here, and there's nothing wrong with this. I don't know. It's too bad there's a bit of a graphical glitch with the sand, but whatever, right? They're doing a little bit of Doom Buggy session here, right? Everybody likes to take their chances, I guess, right? You know, all the things. I must admit, it is one of my favorite intersections to watch once in a while. Of course, at the same time, let's go stare at another bunch of sections. Of course, all of this is all, I mean, there's always really cool stuff to watch here, but I'm just going to let the red science warm up, because I must admit, watching the red science is actually really cool. Well, watching science, period, is really cool. There's a lot of moving parts to the science, right? So when you come over here and, you know, you just kind of watch up here for a while, and you get the right spot, and you see all the traffic moving around all the time. It's actually pretty cool to watch this all work. It actually is. Like you got the power, like all the power networks on the left-hand corner. You know, when I do plug the drill in, you got the drill running all the time, and then you got all this crazy red science running all the time. And see, everything's starting to come alive now, right? Now that we're starting to use red science, so that's actually really cool. You just you keep doing all the things, guys. All the things. This will get really busy here shortly. I must admit, this over here, now the way I have it built, I must admit, this is one of my new favorite areas to watch all the time. Because there are a lot of moving traffic parts here, right? They're always, like, I mean, especially when you bring one of these online, it's crazy. But there is a lot of moving traffic parts here, which, of course, again, you can see these roads are not busy. I mean, there's traffic on them, and it looks awesome, but they're not busy, right? And that's why, you know, it's like, you know, we don't have these issues, like we don't have these delivery issues because of traffic. It's because the game can't calculate it. It just can't do it, right? And that's the bummer part, because obviously we have the capacity, we have the road networks to handle it, but we don't have, you know, the game doesn't have the internal math to go that big yet, right? Which, of course, is why I was saying much earlier in the stream about how I would actually start breaking this down into, I would probably break it down into 6 or 8 sectors, and each sector would be a set of cubes of 16, right? And then just do it that way. I think it would be much better control over the whole thing myself. But I must admit, this actually has worked out really good. I did build extra factories that I didn't need, but at the time I didn't know the ratio exactly, so that's perfectly fine. You know, it's all good. I mean, you know, things. You build things. That's what we do here. That's right. Build all the things. 103. Yeah, that's right. Build all the things. Do stuff and things, guys. That's what you need to do. All right. So let's see. Let's see if it's. I mean, everything's got a kind of a greenish tinge to it, but it's kind of hard to see. Like when you first build this thing, when you first build this magnetic field generator, you'll notice that the entire landscape has this kind of greenish tinge to it. Where, oops, wrong button. Wrong button. There we go. And I mean, you can kind of see the greenish tinge to it when you're looking at it overall, so you can kind of see it. But it's really noticeable when you don't have any of the other factors down yet. But it's harder to see because once you start putting down all the other machines, it's kind of like, wow, you know. I am very concerned about this sulfur shortage, though. We are going to lose this city if we don't fix that. Where are you going to get all the sulfur from? Well, turns out you have a bunch right here, but boy, is your concrete ever going to be cranky with you. I know, right? But there isn't a lot of sulfur left on this crazy map. And I don't know if this is a thing or not, but if it is, it's something they're going to have to address. And that is basically... Yeah, I know, game. I'm making you work really hard now, right? Yeah, and see, this is one of these things that has to be fixed, right? It's like now I've actually touched a road network, right, with things, right? So it shouldn't take 40 seconds to delete this stuff. You know, like, come on, game. You can... There you go. I knew you could do it. I knew you could do it. You did it. Yeah. I know that was painful, game, but it had to be done. It had to be done. Take that out. So what I'm doing is I'm reversing all this road network, and we're gonna take it and put it on to the rest of that sulfur, and hopefully save the city. I can't make any more concrete, but since I'm not too worried about that anyway, at least if we save the city, then that'll be the thing that'll make me happy anyway. Listen, how big is this segment? Yeah, get that out of there. Won't get. Okay, we'll get you to come up here. Okay, I know, game. I'm adding things. Please, just work with me. Just work with me. There you go. Where is that? All right. We're gonna do this over here. You're gonna come up by one. You're gonna come over this road. You're gonna come down by one. All right. We'll come over here. We're gonna come right up to here and then do that. At least that will supplement that line, and hopefully that will be just enough sulfur to keep things running. I mean, I can kill off some of the drones, and that will definitely help, but it's just a bit of a bummer, right? Especially since, you know, the whole purpose is to not do that. We want to keep things running. You know, run away, right? Because I don't think these guys are... Oh, well, he's got 18 in storage. He's got 18, 20 in storage, so that's actually not too bad. I must admit, that's better than I expected. Let's see. I'm just looking to see where his overlaps are. I don't think it's making any real... I mean, down here is very green. I mean, it's super green down here. There's lots of trees and lots of green. But I don't think it's making any huge difference. I don't think. I must admit, so these are working. I'm a little surprised that we're not getting more trees out here. But I mean, that's just the way it is, I think. Now, I don't know if it keeps changing the color the longer they're there, because these ones down here have been here a long time, right? Like, these ones have been here, oh, gotta be like 20 plus hours, right? 20, 30 hours. Whereas we just put these ones in, and they look a little light. They're a little lighter on the greenage. So maybe it's a thing that's got to happen over time. Not sure. But anyway, no. See, you're... Oh, okay, you're a drone. I don't care if the drones don't get enough food. What I do care about is the city not getting enough food. I don't care about the fertilizer for the drones. I do care when it's the city not getting enough, right? Because, see, this is a problem. You can't be having this city running out of stuff. But that's a thing. So we'll see what happens here. I'll give it another 5-10 minutes before we end everything off. This looks like it's running no problem. We got 14 and 37 in storage, 16. Again, are you just being fussy not to call enough stuff? Because again, is that a thing? All right, well, you're sending red trucks down here. Well, that's good. I'm glad somebody is. Yeah, so it is sending red trucks down here to fill this back up. I just wish it would do it constantly. Yeah, 3 being delivered. Well, that's great. Deliver all of it. You know, store all of it, deliver all of it. 20 are being delivered here. Are they? Well, where are they? Because I'm pretty sure I don't see them. Because I'll tell you right now, I don't see 20 trucks on this road. I mean, there's a couple of trucks, but I don't know about 20. We'll follow this road up a little bit, see if I see 20 trucks. I mean, that's red science. That's a red science. That could be an orange truck. Okay, that's fine. Things are getting pretty slow and slaggy. It is what it is. Okay. Yeah, get in there. Get in there. Do it. Do it. All right. So you're doing things up here, right, guys? Yes. You're very excited. 36, 40. Oh, yeah. These guys are keeping up no problem. Well, we like that. All right. And what about the science guys? Science guys. Yeah, they're doing pretty good. Okay. This side, I'm assuming, is a little bit busier. Yeah, actually, they're doing very well. Well, I mean, I guess, considering that thing's supposed to be using 1 red science every 20 seconds. Now, I say that, but, you know, each of these has 40 in storage. And so, you know, I've got, what, 320 red science just sitting here. He's already had 40 in storage, and he's only using, like, 2 every minute, right? So really, I have enough science here that I could run this for literally, like, hours before it would run it. And that's if I didn't have the ratio right. Whereas I'm actually overproducing red science, so he should never run out of red science. This guy would be fine forever. Right, dude? Right. You're gonna be fine forever, dude. I mean, that's green. That's green, people. I'm a little disappointed in the sulfur, but it is green. You know, gee whiz. I was really kind of hoping not to have the green problems. Now, there is a little sulfur in that corner, but a lot of it's being used by the terraforming factory. I don't dare touch it. Yeesh. I mean, you're playing with fire when you start crossing the streams, dude. You start crossing the streams, you're playing with fire. So, yeah, I know. You guys are all out of stuff. And again, it's too bad you can't turn these factories off, right? It's like, just turn the factory off. I don't need concrete anymore. Just turn it off, right? But you can't do that. I do wish there was a way to do that. Some of the tools would be nice. Again, and this is not the only game to do this, but you're building on a square grid. Why would you give me round tools? This drives me absolutely bonkers. It's like, why? Why aren't these squares? Why are these not squares? Right? I mean, we're working on squares, so why don't you make these square so I could make nice clean lines? No, that would be too easy, right? So no, we're gonna make them circles. Now this production overview, again, it's messy, right? So it says here, I'm short on the purple goo, but we know them factories never call enough purple goo to make up the difference. So it's just kind of a, I do see I'm short on aluminum. That's actually a little concerning. Though the city hasn't been affected up to this point. Where is the sulfur? Sulfur. Yeah, so, okay, look at this. I'm making 4,800 sulfur. Only need 2,000 according to this, but we still don't have enough. Why? Because it can't deliver it. And that's a lot of problem with these numbers. It's like, okay, yep, you're making stuff and things, but then you're either not delivering enough of it, or, like, look at this, steel. I'm making 2,700 steel. I only need 600 of it. So this production overview control chart is pointless. It only works if you're building like a mass factory, and even then, it just doesn't work right. I mean, it's a nice overview chart showing you what it is you're doing, but you can't control the amount being made. What you really need is more granular control, like turn this factory off, give me the population back, right? I can't just cut this back to this because all the factories would lose it, and those factories over there are running full tilt, whereas these factories over here aren't. So, yeah, it's just you know, the game is early access. It needs more work. It needs more work. Now, again, I got 800 hours in the game. You don't play 800 hours in the game and not love it, right? So everything I say here is all out of love. It's the same as when I complained about no blueprints in Satisfactory, right? But now we have blueprints in Satisfactory, so I can't complain about that anymore. It is what it is. So with that, all the things. Well, I don't know what's going on with the sulfur. Hopefully these guys will catch up, because if not, well, I mean, we just won't notice what happens. But we are making everything else work. It's very green, and of course that was kind of the whole goal. Listen, why don't you go to picture mode? Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, go to picture mode. There we go. Picture mode. At least, if nothing else, you know, it looks nice, right? So now we can. Whoa. The only problem with picture mode is it's very jittery. It's very jittery. Whoa. Oh. Okay. Listen. Give me. Listen. I'm trying to do a fly around, and I can't do it with picture mode because it's just too jittery. The game is just slugging too hard now. Okay, here we go. But anyway, we're gonna do a fly down one more time for the city. All the things here. Put the session bar up there, big guy. All the stuff. All right. Final flyby of Canyon City. We did get it all greened up. That was the goal. It's a little. More problems, right? It's just like any other logistics game. You're always solving one problem to get another problem. But we did get it all greened up, people. It is all greened up and ready to go. Look at that, trees all the way down to the end. It's awesome sauce. So Canyon City did all the things. I'm very happy about that. All right, what do we got coming up next week? Well, actually, the schedule will be out in a couple hours. So we have Plan B Terraform coming out, the Ribbon World. Again, another game that you have to put a whole bunch of hours into just to do an episode with it. But we got an episode of that coming out. Icarus will be back on Monday. You betcha. So, I mean, it's been missing off the channel for the last 3-4 weeks. But that's just because we had so many new games that we had to cover that I needed the spot. But Icarus will be back on Monday. And, of course, we'll be doing that. Plan B will be out next week. Mr. Prepper, the 1-year achievement file will be coming out next week. And there's something else. There's something else on there. I know there's something else on the schedule next week. Sunday, of course, is being the holidays that are coming up here shortly. There'll be nothing on next Sunday, just from the holidays, but that's just the way it is. And so, yeah, I know there's like 3-4 games for next week's schedule, for the 6 days anyway. I think there might be videos coming out on Sunday. We'll see how that goes, if I can put them together. All right, with that, give me the cool view, dude. Yeah, give me this view. Listen, you're gonna be, well, listen, push this button. Camera sensitivity. Listen, can we be a little less sensitive in my life? Light up my life. Yeah, give me some camera sensitivity there, dude. Yeah, just slide on over here. Back up just a wee bit. There we go. Yeah, give me the tower and the things while we're taking everybody out. All right, there we go. So with that, I'm Max. This has been InfraSpace TERRA. Canyon City is now green. You bet. And oh, gee. So as mentioned, I will be doing another InfraSpace series. I'm going to let them come out with some updates for a while. Do some optimization. Probably let them do some tweaking and some things. Hopefully they recognize that, having roads taking 50-60 seconds to put down each time, and the delivery system and some of that stuff's got to be reworked, and hopefully we'll be able to bring the game back within a reasonable time frame, and then probably do something for later in the summer. At the same time, of course, we'll be doing all the other games and the stuff as we're actually getting closer and closer to summertime games all the time. So that's actually pretty intense, right? Summertime games with Party Pineapple. When Party Pineapple comes back on the scene every summer, it's pretty crazy. He likes having his parties, and he likes to play all them crazy games. So with that, I of course am Max, and the schedule will be out in a couple hours. The links are in the description for all the socials. I post the schedule on there once a week, every Sunday, early Monday morning, and at the same time, almost every day, post daily updates as to what it is I'm playing that day. I want you to thank you very much for everybody that's watching. Recent subscribers. Oops, look at that. Boy, did you ever mess the screen up there, Max. Thanks to the recent subscribers as they're scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Mr. O, Brian, and Mouse, and Gregory is all in the house today for live chat and all the things. It's a Sunday, people. It's a Sunday, and it's a casual day. All the things. I want to thank you all for hanging out, all the things. And I will see you on the next one. Take care.